Disney has been panicking over their upcoming Snow White live-action adaptation, and they should be. Rachel Zegler has severely damaged the image of this movie, and it just seems like a complete reimagining of the beloved tale that they're trying to make money off of. But now they've released a brand new teaser, and not only is it getting ratioed, but they are also hiding tons of responses from paying customers. But before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there is nothing that a company like Disney could do that would surprise me at this point. They constantly belittle their fans, ignore our feedback, and they back the most insufferable people within this industry possible, like Rachel Zegler. She is not fair, she is not kind, she is not sweet, she is a bit of a narcissist. I mean, she does have the ego the size of the Eiffel Tower, and she's really not that good of an actress, but Hollywood has barreled forward with putting her in tons of movies and shows, and her next one is Snow White. Now, this has been delayed before, it's gone through massive reshoots, and every single time they release any news on this film, it is ratioed. People are not happy with what they've seen. And it seems that they are going to have a very tough time with selling this to people, with actually making money on this project. But now they are going as far as to hide tons of responses from their potential customers. So they had released this on Valentine's Day. It's just a new teaser. It doesn't really give you like a whole lot of more information. It basically just serves as a way for them to get more eyes on this project, because again, it is supposed to be releasing next month on March 21st, and this was the second delay that it had undergone, and it does seem quite different from what we had originally seen. We do know that all of the leaks were true, that they did in fact add in a younger actress to break up Rachel Zegler on screen so that Snow White was still in the movie the majority of the time, but they don't have to have Rachel Zegler constantly. That also means that they have found another way to market this, and they can actually use the younger actress's face and show these flashback scenes more. It's a very interesting tactic because, again, we all know that Rachel Zegler is the majority of the movie. I mean, she is Snow White in this film, and we know that they also have gone through many different story changes, like, oh, the reason why she's called Snow White isn't because of the way that she looks, but it's because she was left out in a blizzard one day and she found her way back. Like, what a dumb backstory, at least in my opinion. And all of these changes may seem small, but there is a pile of problems with this film at this point. And this teaser, I mean, it was okay. I personally have absolutely no hype for this movie. Just seeing all of the changes that they've made and seeing that they have continuously backed somebody as toxic as Rachel Zegler. I mean, she really is a box office poison at this point. But because people were not responding super positively, it seems that Disney's social media manager had a bit of a meltdown because it's got currently 208,000 views, which is pretty bad for the official Walt Disney Studios X account that has nearly 7 million followers. It's got 2.7k likes, 800 retweets, 500 comments, and well, if you go to the hidden replies, I mean, there are a shit ton, and some of them are not even that bad. Most of them are just GIFs and images of people like laughing, but they're not being racist, they're not being sexist, they're not overtly negative comments. Like, look at this first one. It's literally just somebody putting a clapping and a happy emoji of the original Snow White. Why did this get hidden? You'll never be able to get a real answer from Disney, but one would assume that they are trying to erase the past. They are trying to erase this as your image of Snow White because they want Rachel Zegler to be their Snow White. They want you to forget this original beloved version of her for the new modern version. This one literally just says trash. This comment says the original and the best. Again, hidden. You'd think that they would want to celebrate this character's legacy and that they would want anybody sharing images and gifs of the OG Snow White. But no, they don't want you to anymore. Boo! Ew! Shoo away. Again, these are posts with no commentary. They're just gifs, plain and simple. But this is so triggering to whoever is running this social media account that they felt that they had to hide it. They already have enough problems on their hands with Rachel Zegler telling older fans and nostalgic fans that, oh, this movie isn't for you, and going into interviews and saying, oh, the prince was creepy, the prince was a stalker, we are making a modern version of this. They already had enough problems with that. Never mind now with the official account just silencing anybody who is even trying to talk about OG Snow White. I mean, they are so triggered by the smallest things possible. And I personally think that it's funny because this movie is going to come out and it is going to be a flop. The past few live action adaptations have not done exactly what they expected. And when you have someone controversial behind a project like this, being Rachel Zegler, and somebody who goes and wears sweatshirts when she's in the middle of a controversy that say no tears left to cry, well, you're really only bringing all of this negativity on yourself. And as far as we know, the projections are looking extremely grim for this film. With Disney's live action Snow White remake set to hit theaters on March 21st, early box office projections are painting a bleak picture. The industry tracker Quorum reports that the film is on track for a 63 to 70 million domestic opening weekend, with other sources projecting as low as 65 million. While this would mark the highest domestic opening of Rachel Zegler's career, which would be good for her, I suppose, surpassing the 44.6 million debut of The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, it is a far cry from the heights of Disney's previous blockbusters. I talk about this all the time. I used to love Disney. I love Snow White and Beauty and the Beast and Mulan and Hercules. I used to love all of these films, but Disney no longer makes new, unique, original content, and they just reduce, reuse, and recycle, and then they make live action adaptations, and they're just piles of trash. And I'm somebody who, in the past, would have jumped out of my seat to be able to go and see a live action Snow White, but I have absolutely no hype for it. They've lost my interests because of someone like Rachel Zegler, because we've heard that it's undergone multiple reshoots, because they're changing the story so drastically from its original iteration, and that's how the majority of people seem to feel. The numbers look even worse when compared to the other Disney live action remakes. The Little Mermaid, which also was an extremely controversial movie, which by the way never made its money back, or it did make its budget back, but it never actually made the money. The Little Mermaid opened to 95.6 million domestically over 3 days and was still considered a financial disappointment. Disney's The Lion King debuted with 191.77 million. The Beauty and the Beast in 2017 earned 174.7 million, both surpassing 1 billion globally, and by contrast, these Snow White box office projections place it closer to Maleficent, which opened to 69.4 million and did manage to reach 758.5 million worldwide, though its sequel failed to turn a profit. And with Maleficent, this was still close to the beginning of their live action phase of them actually deciding to take all of your favorite stories and give them the live action treatment. But it also was Maleficent. It wasn't totally Sleeping Beauty. And so that made it not resonate with a lot of people as they continued it on, because the first one did make money, but with the sequel, it did end up being a failure. So it just looks like Snow White is probably going to be a massive flop. And even just looking on their YouTube, I mean, every single post that they're making is getting wrecked. 1.7 million views, 5K likes to 65,000 dislikes. And one of their previous ones, the one from just 2 months ago, got absolutely destroyed with over 1 million dislikes. As you can see, it's sitting at 44K likes and 1.2 million dislikes. So I don't think that this is going to be the sweeping success they're expecting. And when I am a potential customer and I am going onto social media and I see a company the size of Disney silencing people and hiding replies where nostalgic fans are simply appreciating the OG version of Snow White, yeah, that is a really bad look, and that's not going to get me to swipe my credit card on a ticket to your most likely very trash movie. So we'll have to see over the next month how they continue to market this, if Rachel Zegler goes into any interviews and potentially damages the image of this film even further. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.